Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. Hey, thanks for dropping by. Oops, wrong finger. Our Philippine journey, Mike and Arlen. Angeles City, Philippines. Hey, a lot of people not going to like this. A lot of people going to argue that I am totally wrong. And that's great. That's, the way life goes. I certainly don't make any representation that I am totally right or wrong. Secondly, I'm not going to condemn or condone any type of individual we're going to talk about, nor what they do or the practices that they have. But I am going to say some things about what you need to recognize. So stick around. We'd appreciate it. And we're going to tell you what other people just won't tell you or haven't told you. Let's talk a minute about relationships with Filipinos. Let me rephrase that. Filipinos. Well, might be for Filipinas as well. Filipinos, Philippines, whatever. Your girlfriend, in all likelihood, will never tell you everything. In particular, they are not going to tell you about a majority, if any, of their previous relationships. And there's some reasons for that. Okay? And I doubt very seriously you're going to tell them. So, the boat goes, the street goes both ways. But let's get something straight. Unless you've been to the Philippines, unless you've lived in the province, unless you've lived in the big cities, unless you've been to the bars, unless you've been to the nightclubs, unless you have experience dating girls from different backgrounds, you don't know or may not know what I'm going to say. But I can tell you it's the honest truth. We know this for a fact. We know this because we've lived in the Philippines for years. We know this because we know lots of girls that are in the province, from the province, in the city, from the city. Let's just go over a couple of different things because I did a little experiment. Okay? We have a lot of friends that are single guys that date Filipino girls. They date Filipino girls that they met at a restaurant. They date Filipino girls that they met online. They date Filipino girls that they met at SM. They date Filipino girls they've met at the bars. Okay? Some of these girls we personally know. And I'm not talking about one or two friends, and I'm not talking about one or two girls. Your Philippine girlfriend should never be condemned for making a living in order to support her family and or herself. And if you think it's just bar girls, look, I'm going to tell you right now, we know girls with college degrees who work in a better paying call center job. All right. And let me pause this. I just got an important email. Hold on. Sorry, I had to answer a important email reservation about our Thailand trip. Anyways, we know lots of girls that have college degrees who work in one of the better paying call center jobs, which pays more than working at SM. And yet, they're also available. and they make themselves available because their pay doesn't support them and their family. And I'm not talking about even girls that have children. I mean, they may have a mother and father in the province that absolutely have no choice of employment or chance of employment. They may have siblings that are in school in the province. One of the things that differs between the Philippines and in the U.S., school is free. Okay, primary school is free. But in order to advance from grade to grade, they actually have to take an end of year test. Some of them actually take two tests a year, one mid year, one end year. And they don't progress to the next point unless they take that test and pass it. But they don't get to take that test unless until they pay the teacher. They have to pay the teacher to take the test to finish. Now, I don't know if this is part of the curriculum, but it certainly is the way school works. Because I've talked to other girls in other provinces, all right, or from other provinces, and that's what they went through as well. So if some girl has a sister that's in the 8th grade and she wants to get to the 9th grade, she's got to take that test. And before she can take that test, she's got to pay for it. She's also going to have uniforms. And she's going to have to supply a lot of her own supplies, is the best word I can come up with. These women in the Philippines, and I say women because they're taking on the role of an adult, okay? They're supporting parents, uncles, aunts, nieces, nephews. So, if you want to give them a ration of shit, if you want to say that what they do is not condonable, that makes them a bad girl, I guess you've never had a child or watched a sibling starve or ever had a parent that needed medication but didn't have the money to get it. I don't condemn these girls at all, and neither should you. And you shouldn't call them bad girls just because they're on Tinder, all right, or they're in a bar or whatever. We know girls, for them, it's a part-time job. We know girls in the bar that do not bar fine at all, but they will date. And if dating is financially productive for them, great. If not, great also. We know girls who tell their parents that they are working in a call center at night, so you can't call them. They can't talk to you at night, okay? But they're really working in a bar. Or their side hustle, they might be working in a restaurant, and their story to their family is, we're working in a restaurant. And their side hustle is Tinder or some other app, maybe they're on a dating website and they're cultivating contacts that way. My point is, do you really expect the girl that you meet who isn't in a bar to admit she's worked in a bar? And does it matter? Really and truly? Well, of course it matters to a certain degree, I guess. Maybe. That's up to you. That's where you draw a line. But to expect that they will always, that every girl is going to be honest about her past experiences, it's well, you know what? If you expect every girl to be honest about her past experiences, then you're a loser, idiot, and that's why you left wherever it is you're from, because you were a loser, idiot there. I don't mean that disrespectful. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I don't mean that disrespectfully. But it shows that you're continuing that common thread from where you were to where you are. Now, there are people on here that says you should only date high quality girls. We know girls that are in college from hardworking middle class Philippine families, but they need more. They need to be able to dress the socially accepted way that their parents can afford the tuition, but they can't afford the latest fashions. They need other things. They need to be in their own social circle. And so they side hustle. You know, we see it often, very often. We know girls who only show up on the weekends because they've been in school or their regular job Monday through Friday, and now they're making a little bit extra money. They're in the high class clubs, the high end nightclubs, not bars, nightclubs. And they're in the nightclubs. Those girls are more like than any others. And the reason is because the clientele is younger. You know, the bars, you're going to have young guys and old guys. But let's face it, you're not going to find old guys in their 60s and 70s going to mega dance at 2:30 in the morning. Well, I guess you will, but it's a limited number. My point is that you cannot condemn these girls, and you should not condemn these girls. Unless you've walked a mile in their shoes, you don't know jack. Okay? If you expect total honesty, good luck. It's none of your business. I don't think in the U.S. you're giving women the third degree about every intimate encounter they've ever had. You might. There are exceptions to every rule there as well. Okay? Personally, I just don't see an issue with it. I really and truly do. And you know what? You can cultivate and learn to understand the differences between those that are hardcore girls and those that are just trying to get by to the next step. You can meet high quality girls anywhere. Anywhere. The possibilities are not limited. They are everywhere. They're in the province. They're in the big cities. Oh, but let's step back. They're in the province. Okay? You get all these guys say, well, you know what? You should date girls from the province. Oh my God. What a line of crap. Please. Really? The number of girls from the province working in the bars is exceptionally high. And let me tell you why. Because the application process to get that job is to not be 60 pounds overweight. That's about it. Because if you've been to the bars, you know, tiny, cute, sweet, adorable Filipino girls are not the only girls in those bars. And I can also tell you from being a previous topless bar owner as a business, I didn't work at our bar. We owned it as a business. I had a totally different management company that ran it. But I can tell you the one thing that we learned was there's a guy for every girl. So these girls, they make money. And some of these girls, you know, they just tell their parents, I'm going to Manila to see a friend of mine for the weekend or for a week. Or I'm going to Dumaguete to visit so-and-so. Or whatever host of reasons they give. Okay? You're not going to avoid women like that everywhere or anywhere because they are everywhere. They are absolutely everywhere. So get over it, get past it. You want to date a high quality girl? Date her. Date a girl that intrigues you, carries on a good conversation, makes you laugh, and see where it goes. You certainly aren't going to be able to sit at the bar or to sit at a table in a nightclub and judge these girls as they walk through the door with your little checklist of, does she this, that? Okay, yeah, she's high quality. Oh, nope, missing this, missing. Nope, not a high quality girl. Sure, you can weed through a few on site, but you can't weed through them all. And your odds of missing something good are unreasonable. And let me also say this. We know guys that have hooked up with girls from the bars who are in great long-term relationships. Who's to say that you can't do the same thing? Okay? Now, a lot of people are going to disagree, and you're entitled to disagree. You're entitled to make sure that you feel the way you feel. I'm just saying we're going to give it another perspective, another idea. Your Filipino girlfriend probably would never tell you. And the odds of you finding out later down the road, because she hid it from everybody anyways, are slim to none. And I don't think that you're going to be totally upfront about all of your intimate relationships. I mean, if you already hadn't had troubles or issues, you wouldn't be in the Philippines single, would you? Okay? It's funny, almost every guy over the age of 35 that we know that's here living in the Philippines has been divorced at least once. Nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. Ex-wives make mistakes. Ex-husbands make mistakes. The point is, nobody's perfect. Don't expect or condemn a woman for wanting to make sure her father gets his blood pressure medicine. Don't condemn a woman for making sure that her sister has a better chance than she had. Don't condemn a girl for wanting better when it comes to the basics. And for a lot of guys, don't condemn a girl for wanting more because her rich family doesn't give her enough as it is. Well, some guys, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for girls that want more. But for many guys, that's not necessarily the way. Isn't it one of the reasons that you came here? One reason, amongst many, is that you want that culture, the culture of caring, that culture of commitment. And isn't it that culture of caring and commitment that drives these girls to take care of their families, forcing them into other situations where they can afford to do that? There's two sides to every coin, guys. You're not perfect. Neither are they. They're not going to condemn you. They accept the fact. You shouldn't condemn them. If you found this interesting, if you've got comments about it, and I expect a good number, all right, bring them on. I'd really love to see them. Secondly, thank you so much for watching. Please, if you found it interesting, hit that subscribe button. And for God's sakes, please hit that thumbs up button. It really helps us a great deal. In the meantime, don't forget, we do a live Q&A every Philippine time, 6 a.m. Sunday mornings. Okay? And we're getting ready for our Thailand trip. So if you've got any suggestions for Bangkok and Pattaya, let us know. Have a great day. I hope you're doing well.